Hello guys, in this video we are going to discuss an amazing option of Excel, which one of those tools that I love in Excel, to be very honest with you guys. And trust me, without Excel, solving a situation like this would take a talented person who is having great knowledge in Excel, great knowledge in costing and manufacturing. On pen and paper, it would take a huge amount of time, maybe hours together, to come to this particular solution. Right? On Excel, we'll be able to do this situation in hardly maybe if you are efficient in Excel, it will hardly take you 10 minutes to 15 minutes to solve it. Maybe while for this particular video, when I'm explaining that to you, it might take much amount of time, because I need to discuss every particular reference that I'm creating, every particular logic that I'm creating. I need to explain you guys, so it might take a little bit of time. But trust me, once you are well versed with this, you should be able to complete scenarios like this within a short span of 10 to 15 minutes. Now, what am I trying to discuss here is an option called as solver in Excel. Usually, this option is disabled by default. You need to enable an additional add-on to get this particular option. Right? I have already enabled. Okay, I think I disabled this for this particular video. So let me first show you how to enable that option. Before I show you how to enable the option, first let me give you the scenario here so that you can understand the essence of this particular utility and you can appreciate the concept here, right? So see, for your ease of understanding, what I have already done is I have highlighted all the information that is pre-available, that is already available. You can assume it to be the part of a question. I have highlighted them in red color so that you can differentiate between the question, the given data, and the answers or the formulas or the calculations that we are doing. The question or the given data is highlighted in red color. So let's understand what is the given scenario here. See, we are into manufacturing. We are producing three products, X, Y, and Z. So our final output is X, Y, and Z. And the inputs that are required are raw material A, B, and C. These are the three raw materials that are available or that are required for the production of X, Y, and Z. Now, the stock availability of all the three raw materials is given. 1000 units of A, 1500 units of B, and 2350 units of C are available to us. We cannot, assuming that purchase is not possible, we have to produce only with this available stock. That is one of a constraint, or that is one of a limitation on our production process. We cannot acquire additional raw material right now. We have to produce only with the available stock. Like maybe because of the lead time, when you order something, it will take another 1 week for you to get that stock. So you need to produce only from the available stock in this particular example. And per unit consumption is also given. What do we mean by per unit consumption? See here, if I want to produce 1 unit of X, I need 2 units of A, 2.5 units of B, and 3 units of C. Similarly, if I want to produce 1 unit of Y, I need 1.8 units of A, 2.7 units of B, and 3.2 units of C. Similarly for Z also, 1.75 A, 2.9 B, and 2.8 C. And the cost per each unit of A is 12, B is 15, and C is $8, or else 8 rupees, whatever you want to assume. That's why I did not give you the currency symbol here. You can assume it to be dollars, or you can assume it to be rupees, right? And now coming to the output part, the sale price of X, Y, and Z are given: 210, 190, and 205. What we need to do is, now let me tell you the other information that is given. The demand for the three products are also given. This is the minimum demand that you need to satisfy. Already existing customers, existing orders for X are 100 units, Y 180 units, and Z 200 units. So after producing these units with the remaining amount of stock, which product should you produce to maximize your profit? Repeating again, after meeting this minimum demand with the remaining amount of raw material, which product should you produce? How many units of each product should you produce to make sure that you are maximizing your profit? Okay. Now, labor and variable costs are 80% of the material cost. This is an additional constraint that is given to us. Now, why am I using the word constraint? Is because if you are already done with your costing classes, or if you have involved with any of the management accounting or production functions or manufacturing functions, you should be knowing a concept called as theory of constraints, right? Where you have limited resources, limiting factors. So how to maximize our returns with the availability of limited resources. There is a concept relating to that. This is a practical example of that particular concept. Now, let's see how to discuss, how to solve this entire thing on Excel. Now, what are our restrictions right now? First restriction or the first constraint is that we cannot consume anything more than 1000, 1500 and 2350. So stock is one of our constraint. Second constraint is minimum demands need to be satisfied, right? And the third situation, the most important one for us, is not a constraint, but our end goal is to maximize our total profit. This is our end goal, right? So I can even create additional constraint like post production closing stock of each unit should be at least 100 units, or else maximum demand for a product can also be created as a restriction. So additional restrictions are fine, additional constraints can be created, and it wouldn't take additional amount of time, because once you know the essence, once you know the concept, creating rules is very easy for you guys. Only it will take hardly 10 seconds to 15 seconds to create each rule. So it's not a big deal. First, for understanding purpose, I'll create this particular solution, then we'll create additional constraints if it is required, right? Sure. Take a second to understand the entire concept here. Pause this video, look into the entire concept. First, understand, have a visual impact, or create a visualization of the entire flow. Then we will start with the solution, right? See, so first, to solve this particular situation, we need to first list out our conditions, or we need to first understand our restrictions. So the first restriction is stock limitation is there. Second restriction is that my volume of sales should be minimum meeting my demand. Second condition. Third condition, volume of sales should always be an integer. That means fractions are not possible. Fourth condition, my closing stock should never become zero, right? And I hope those are the conditions here. Yeah, those are the conditions. Now let's start with this. So first, how do we enable the solver function in Excel? First, go to file menu, go to options in the file menu. You can see an option called as add-ins. Go to that, and here at the bottom you can find manage Excel add-ins. So click on the go button, and you can see that solver is actually disabled right now. So what I'll do is I'll enable that solver function and click OK. It is going to take a little bit of time for Excel to enable the solver function, and once it is enabled, you can see that there is literally no change in any of the Excel functions, except for the fact that when you go to data tab, you can see here a new function called as solver has been enabled. Previously we do not have this function, but when you enable that, you will get this function called as solver. Okay, now first, before we start solving, obviously we need to fill out all the values here. So first, I'm assuming that you guys know what is absolute referencing, mixed referencing, and relative referencing in Excel. With that assumption, I'm going to solve this sum, because without understanding that, it would become a little bit tricky for you to know, because it will become more work. You need to do double, triple work. Okay. Now, regarding the material, how do I get the material cost? Basically, quantity of raw material consumed multiplied by the rate. Suppose if I'm talking about product X. So for product X, I need 2 units of A at $12 each. 2 into 12, 24, plus 2.5 into 15, plus 3 into $8, right? So my material cost shall be, for product X, 2 units of A multiplied by $12, and this $12 will remain constant for X, Y and Z. When I drag it right side, I want for Y it should be 1.8 into 12, for Z it should be 1.75 into 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make absolute reference for $12. Similarly, plus 2.5 into 15 absolute referencing, plus 3 into $8 absolute reference, F4, enter. Now you can see that total cost for product X, material cost, is 85.5. I'm going to drag it right side, Control R the shortcut key, and let me just check the formula here. It's absolutely fine. So Y 1.8 into 12, 2.7 into 15 and 3.2 into 8. And similarly for Z also it is absolutely fine. The formula is absolutely fine. My rate is now constant because of the absolute referencing. I got the material cost, and labor and variable cost are 80% of the material cost, which is a given information. So I'll take material cost into 80%. I'll drag it right, and contribution shall be sales price minus material cost minus variable cost. So I got the total for each product. So per unit of X, Y and Z, our contribution is 56, 32 and 48. Now let me just put volume of sales to be 1 here, just for understanding, because I'm not going to solve it now. Manually I can't solve it. So I'll just take 1 unit of each and I'll try to ask Excel to solve it for me. How many units of sales should be produced, or how many units of XYZ should be produced. Now total profit shall be contribution multiplied by the number of units. So since we are producing only 1 unit, our total contribution also will remain the same, and the net profit shall be sum of all these 3. Okay, fine, no issue. Okay, so our total profit is 136.82 if I produce 1 unit of each product of X, Y and Z. Now let's understand our consumption here. So how do I get my consumption? Consumption is nothing but raw material A. How do I get raw material A consumption? Number of units of X multiplied by per unit of X unit 2 units of A. Number of units of X into per unit of X unit 2 units of A. Similarly, for Y you will need 1.8 units of A, and similarly for Z you will need 1.75 units of A. But now let me just put this absolute referencing, because number of units will remain the same. So for B16, C16 and D16 I am giving absolute referencing, and now when I drag it downwards you can see that if I am producing 1 unit of all the 3 products, I need to consume 5.55 units of A. Let's just see here. See, A is there. For X you need 2, for Y you need 1.8 and for Z you need 1.75. If I total this up, you can see sum is 5.55, which is this value, right? Now closing stock shall be opening stock minus consumption of that particular raw material A, B and C. Okay, now we have created the entire chart, we have the formula ready. The only thing that is left for us to do is give the conditions to Excel. What is your requirement? Excel will solve it for you and show it to you. Now let me show something before we go there. If I change the volume here to 100, 180 and 200, you can see that I am still having some closing stock left. I have A, I have B and I have C. Now, how many units of A, B or C should I produce? How many units of X, Y or Z should I produce with this availability of raw material to maximize my profit, right? Chalo, let's see that. I'll go back, I'll switch this back to 1 unit each. Now, let Excel do the magic. Go to data. Before we go there, first I'll put my cell to the, the cell where I want the solution to be, net profit. This is the cell that I want to maximize. So I'll keep my cursor over there, 136.82, data, solver. Now let's see here. Oh, I'll just reset it all. From the previous session it has already been recorded, so I'll just clear it all. So you'll get a screen like this. See, set objective. What is your objective? What is your end goal? To maximize my net profit. So I'll click here. D20 is the cell. I want to maximize it, not minimize or not set to a determined value. I want to maximize that by changing variable cells. Which are the variable cells here? Volume of sales. These 3 are my variable cells. So I'll select all the 3 together. And now see here, subject to the constraints. What are the regulations? What are the rules? What are the restrictions? What are the constraints? We need to give one by one. So first I'll go to add function here. So let's start giving each condition. So cell reference. What is your first condition? These 3 values should be only integers. That means there should not be any decimals in this production. You cannot produce a fraction of a unit. So I'll click here and it should be integer. INT stands for integer. So add it. First condition is added. Second condition, my closing stock should never become negative. So closing stocks should be greater than or equal to 0. It can be equal to 0. It should never be less than 0. So greater than or equal to 0. Add that constraint. 2 conditions are done. Next, third one, I need to meet my minimum demand for each product. So X should be greater than or equal to 100. Add it. Y should be greater than or equal to 180, add it, and similarly Z should be greater than or equal to 200, add it. Right, I hope I gave all the conditions that are required. I'll click OK. It will show that cell references are empty, so it is not valid. So I'll just close this, and you can see that all my conditions are already saved here. So first of all, what are the conditions that are saved? Yeah, B16 should be greater than or equal to H14. B16 X should be greater than or equal to 100. Similarly, all the conditions you can cross verify. I'm not going to go through with that, and I'm not changing any other options here because for my situation, this is non-linear is fine, simplex is fine, evolutionary is fine. Any option that I choose will solve my situation here. But if you want more statistical situations, you have to select non-linear, wherein your function is not in the form of y is equal to ax plus b or a plus bx, or if it is in a linear function, you can choose simplex. And if you want more description about that, you can read this particular topic given here, solving the method. Select the GRG non-linear engine for solver problems that are smooth and non-linear, simplex for solver problems which are linear, and evolutionary for problems that are non-smooth. This is all related to statistics. I'm going to just stick with any of the options will work for me. I'm sticking myself with simplex. It's fine. Even if you leave it with any other option, this situation, every option will work. Now the only thing that I need to do is click solve. That's it. See here, it is telling me that I need to produce 163 units of X, 180 units of Y, and 200 units of Z to maximize my profit. See here, X is the product which is giving me maximum contribution per each unit. Y is giving me third highest, Z is giving me second highest. So obviously when I have a limited resource, I'll produce more of X, less of Z, and even less of Y in their ranking orders. But I need to meet my minimum demand, so 200 and 180 these units are produced, and the rest of the stock is used to produce X. Okay, now let me complicate it a slight little bit, and I'm also going to add maximum demand as well here. I'm going to write minimum and maximum. Okay, so maximum units of X cannot be more than 150. And Y 200 and Z 210. I don't care about Y and Z because anyways they are going to be produced less only. So now let's add one more condition to our solver situation. So data, solver, and now I'll add one more, add X shall be less than or equal to 150, add Y shall be less than or equal to 200, add Z shall be less than or equal to 210. Okay. Now these conditions are also added. Now let's press solve, and now you can see that 200, 180 and 100 units of XYZ are produced. See here, something it is showing. Solver could not find a feasible solution. Solver cannot find a point for which all constraints are satisfied. I guess there is some issue with the additional condition that we have given. So let me just check that once. Yeah, let me just give it again. So here 150. Okay, so let's go to data, solver, and let's add those conditions of maximum demand again. Add volume of sales should be less than or equal to 150. Add 180 less than or equal to 200, add 200 less than or equal to 210. Okay, now let's click solve. Yeah, okay, there was some what do you say, I think while giving that solution I created double times greater than instead of less than. I need to go back and check that, but it's okay. Now you can see that now your volume of sales of X is maximum restricted to 150. So now what it is doing is it is going and creating maximum units of Z of 210, and the remaining quantity is now used to maximize the production of Y as well. Right? I hope you guys are able to understand this. Let me add one more constraint to this to make it even more interesting here. Okay, not a constraint as such. See here, for raw material C, we are having high amount of closing stock. Too much stock is left over. So what I'll do is I'll make a small change here. Instead of 2.8, I'll make it 1.8. Okay, so automatically my cells will be updated, no issue with that. Now let's go to solver and check. You can see that it will increase the value of number of units of Z here. I'll keep the same restrictions, same as previous, and I'll click solve. Now you can see that Z, it is high, first trying to maximize Z production here. 210 units of Z are produced. Even if I am increasing it furthermore, if I make it 250 there, and now go to solver, see, solver function is done. I'm just trying to show you how Excel operates with this availability of data. See, now it is going with more number of units of Z, 241 units of Z, because you can produce maximum 250. And A, even though you can produce 150, you are producing only 126. Now this is what I wanted you to understand. This is what I want you to appreciate. You will say that, sir, X is giving us highest contribution, $56 for each unit. So why are we not producing 150 units of X here? Because if you produce 150 units of X, what happens is you will consume more units of C. So when you consume more units of C, you will not be left with the stock of A and B, enough to produce remaining units. So what Excel is doing is considering all the raw materials, all the three products together at the same time. It is telling you which is the best possible consumption technique, right? So this number of units, 126, 180 and 241, these are the units which will give you the maximum product or maximum profit with the given conditions or constraints, right? I hope you guys understood this concept. Pardon me for that technical glitch in between. So this is how solver function works. This is an amazing function. This is just one example of how we can maximize our production profits. You can even use it for what do you call it, a minimization of the cost, or else you can even use it where you have a marketing mix, or else a mix of raw materials, or mix of labor. Here I am directly taking 80% of labor and variable cost. You can even change that. You can directly go with those calculations as well. You can create additional constraints for maximum labor hours that are available. Within that, you can create a mix of what do you call it, skilled, semi-skilled and unskilled labor, their mixes, their maximum and minimum labor hours required or availability, that you can create as a restriction. Maximum number of what do you call it, marketing hours or marketing facilities that are available. You can create as many restrictions as possible, and you can get a conclusion within a fraction of seconds once you know how to create the constraints and how to use the solver function. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Thank you guys.